What up, what up? It's Trey, Alessio, the Dawn of Entertainment, back with Brandon, Ogden, and Consigliere. This is Unfiltered Cinematics. We just got out of Ad Astra, starring Brad Pitt. Tommy Lee Jones was in there. Liv Tyler was in there. Yo, this movie was wild. It was a wild ride. We have a lot to say. Honestly, out the gates, this shit blew my mind. I'll be real. We got a lot to say. Plot breakdown. I want to kind of explain the ending, honestly. Yep. And then we're obviously going to do our rankings, so you know the drill. Spoiler alerts. So if you haven't seen the movie, go watch, come back. We have a lot to say. We're going to break it down. All right, so plot. Right away, correct me if I'm wrong, but the goal for this movie is to find extraterrestrial life. There's
intelligent life, they call it.
Yeah, it's space exploration. That's the goal of this movie.
We should also say it's set in the future.
Yes.
So there's a couple different things. So you can take a commercial flight basically to Mars.
Yep.
Mars is like its own living planet. It's got a subway.
More so I would say the moon, but there are like Mars flights are normal.
Yes.
If you would.
Yes.
So
there's pirates. Is it on the moon then that I'm talking about?
Yeah, so the moon is more of the commercial flight.
Right.
But
all the other planets have, for the most part,
been
stuff.
explored too.
Yes.
Explored.
So the moon, there's like pirates, it sounds like different countries kind of own different parts of the moon.
Yeah.
So think of it as Earth.
Yeah. So obviously Brad Pitt is an astronaut. His father, Tommy Lee Jones in the movie, was also an astronaut.
Most decorated astronaut in astronaut history.
Yeah, so his plaque was on the wall right next to Buzz Aldrin's. So he is, I believe he's the first to travel to Jupiter and Neptune.
Yes.
And so here's the biggest thing for me. So this is a movie about a father and a son, and it is based in a space sci-fi movie. At the core of this thing, it is a father-son relationship movie, which I think really makes it what it is. It's based in kind of a sci-fi space time frame in the future, but at the core, it is those relationships and the emotions that evoke that. That's the core of this movie. But
another really important piece throughout the movie is we are getting Brad Pitt's thoughts throughout the whole movie. So he's basically
voiceover
narrating his thought process throughout the entire movie,
which is a big it's a big thing.
Very important.
It's a very important thing. So how do we want to really break? Tell like the quick summary of the plot, if you will.
So it starts with you basically see Brad Pitt is almost more like robot than human.
Yep.
Everything is compartmentalized.
Yep.
He's always doing psyche
the wife.
The wife.
It's kind of strained relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any time for anything other than his job. Everything he does, he has to get biometrics done, a psych evaluation. So they're constantly testing his emotional and physical readiness. Actually, at the beginning of the movie, he's going down this thing that ends up blowing up. He falls. Everybody pretty much dies except for him because he was able to keep his heart rate down, so he didn't black out. He was then able to pull his chute. It was a very intense
start, dude.
Scene.
That shit was wild. Big scene.
So then they pull him into a secret mission meeting. He thinks he's going to debrief on what happened. Instead, they tell him, your dad is still alive.
We believe he's alive.
Yeah, we think he's still alive. We want you to go to the moon on a secret mission to send a message to him.
Actually, to
find him.
No, you're right, moon. Sorry.
To the moon, and
then to Mars. And then they were going to go to Neptune, where Tommy Lee Jones is led, that's the last place they saw him.
Brad Pitt is led to believe it's more of a rescue mission.
Yeah.
He travels with Donald Sutherland, who used to be a close friend to Tommy Lee Jones, Brad Pitt's dad.
On the pirate mission on the moon, he gets popped, and he basically gives him this USB port that has top secret information.
Explains the real mission.
And that is, they basically want to kill Tommy Lee Jones because they believe that he set off like a chain reaction of electrical things.
Antimatter, basically.
Antimatter, that's what they call it.
Yeah.
And it sets off a chain reaction, and that's how in the beginning that he, like the spacecraft
shuttle,
that he was on blew up, and that's how that was the first big intense moment.
Right.
So that was the cause to that effect.
Yep. So then during all of this, Brad Pitt quickly realizes they're basically just using him to try to get the dad to respond, give up his location, so then they can go kill him.
But the craziest part of all this is we see the emotion in Brad Pitt's performance. Brad Pitt killed it in this movie. I was a little iffy. Like, I know you loved him in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. If he's gonna get a Best Actor nom, it's gonna be this movie, in my opinion. He killed it. I thought the emotion. But what I was going to say is the fact, like we see him because he admires his dad. Because I mean, he chose the career path that his dad did. His dad is the most decorated astronaut in history, but yet he realizes that his dad left him, and his dad really didn't care about him. Like, we see the pull from both sides. Like, it's Kylo Ren, but fucking futuristic, but partly like this could happen space life. I don't know. I just felt the emotion there, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it.
What's also important at the beginning of the movie is he shows no emotion. He has no strings to anything. He's like very independent, his own thing. Mm-hmm. And then you start to see, once he realizes his dad actually responded to one of his messages, you start to see it really weigh on him that, holy shit, like my dad is actually alive, and I can go see him, hopefully. And then he quickly realizes they're going to send a different team. To go kill his dad, and he's gonna have to go back to Earth.
So on Mars, first of all, let me say there's a clear arc for Brad Pitt's character.
Yes.
Clear arc, beautifully written. I will say, so let's get into, so on Mars, he has to send messages to his dad, and he goes off script and says this emotional message, and that at that point they tell him he's not fit to go on in the mission. So they're going to send him back to Earth, and then he gets hooked up with a lady on Mars who says that Tommy Lee Jones killed her parents, and that's when we find out that Tommy Lee Jones is really the bad guy because his sole purpose is to find alien life form to go on no matter what. So the lady on Mars reveals to Brad Pitt that basically he's a dick, right?
Yeah.
So
he killed all of the people that were on the shuttle with him because they wanted to bail and go home. He wanted to stay and keep exploring, so he killed all of them.
I was going off the rails there. You got it back on track. I appreciate that.
That's what I'm here for.
So next, I mean, let's talk about the ending. So I mean, fast forward. So
well, you really see.
We need to say how he gets on the shit.
So he works with the lady whose parents were killed by his dad to sneak onto the space shuttle that's going to kill his dad now. On the way there, right as they take off, he's able to sneak in. They get from mission control tells them to kill Brad Pitt. He ends up he kills all of them, but like none of them were like directly his fault.
Yeah, like, but it honestly adds another layer because
it
he
makes him
becoming his father.
Right.
It's wild, man.
So then he goes on a 79-day, I think I have that right, 79-day journey to Neptune to go see his dad.
By himself.
Right. And this is where I think Brad Pitt killed it. On this 79-day trip, he's by himself, and you can just see the psychological warfare of him trying to battle himself.
Oh, yeah.
And you just
basically
see all
losing
of
his
the
mind.
Things, coming to play. He starts to replay everything with his wife that had left him. He starts to replay everything with his dad and their broken relationship. All of the times he had failed. Everything, all negative thoughts start to come to him during this 79-day trip. Yeah. And he does not take it well for the first time.
And there was one line, I don't remember it word for word, but he basically says, all my life I thought that I wanted to be alone. I thought this is what I was supposed to be doing, and I realize that that's not right. Like, that's not me. So he's basically, he wanted to be alone all of his life, but now that he is alone on space, basically losing his mind, he realizes that companionship is really what's most important.
Right.
It's fucking so really deep, dude. It's so deep. This movie is so layered.
So then let's get to the end before we kind of talk some high level stuff. So he gets there, he sees all of the astronauts that are dead, and then he sees his dad.
Yep.
We'll talk about it. Yeah. He physically touches his dad. Yeah. He tells his dad, we got to go back to Earth. His dad doesn't want to. His dad finally gives in, and then they're getting ready to go backpack jetting through the Earth. Or
just
through
outer space
to get to the shuttle to go back to Earth. His dad rips away. He doesn't want to go with. Brad Pitt unhooks him, and Tommy Lee Jones fades into the night and pretty much dies. They don't show it, but that's what we're led to believe. Brad Pitt then gets back to the shuttle, and then the final scene is him coming back to Earth.
Yeah, so he basically rips off this panel from the space station, uses that as a shield against the asteroids, if you will, and gets to another shuttle and use it. So he's basically blowing up this Lima project and using the explosion to trajectory back to Earth.
And he also takes all of his dad's data with him.
Yep. So that's a big thing. All of his
research, all of his data's with him.
Yeah, it's wild. So,
and literally the last scene is he's at Earth. He wakes up and some U.S. soldiers get him out. He's back on Earth. He does one more mental eval. Talks about.
That's a big part, though.
Yeah. But
we see the wife.
We do.
That's a big moment because we realize at the beginning he's a robot. He doesn't care. All he cares about, like his father, is his space exploration. And then he finds out that it's the companionship, and that's all he cares about. So it's a clear arc, beautifully written character and story, just solid all around. Yes. Now let's talk about the ending because there's a lot.
Real quick, let me point a couple things out.
Yep, point a couple things
Cinematography in this movie was unbelievable.
A1.
Visual effects, unbelievable. CGI, unbelievable.
Yep.
When they're in space and you see the different planets up close and it was so fucking pretty.
Beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Yes.
So shout out to that. Unbelievable. Really, does it feel like Brad Pitt's the only real character in this? I know we get all the sub characters, but like Brad Pitt was probably on screen 98% of the time.
This was told from his perspective, the voiceover and everything. This was his movie. I mean, you get side characters and everything, but totally,
like 98% of the time it's Brad Pitt on screen.
Totally his movie.
The other thing,
which I thought made it better.
Yeah,
honestly.
No, I agree. The other thing I mentioned to you during the movie is there wasn't a ton of action in this movie. Actually, I thought there'd be a lot more.
Yep.
But it's really well paced. It's not like too fast, but not too slow. Really well paced, where there's always something happening. You're always trying to figure out what's coming next. You don't really quite know.
Yeah.
So it leaves you, wanting, but it's at a really good pace. I really enjoyed.
I agree.
The pace
I would say the high level intensity was perfect. Like they dramatize everything, and like it's not an action movie, but they build up the drama, and it's like a high level type drama where you're on the edge of your seat, right? It just felt. I thought it was paced perfectly. Like it was a slow burner, but I thought it was perfect.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's talk about
we have to talk about the ending. Is wild. So from the get-go, I think I told you, I was like, there's no way Tommy Lee Jones is alive. It's in his head. Because I thought that...
Because he was going crazy the whole
He was going crazy the journey there. That's what really tipped me off. Yeah. And then Tommy Lee Jones tells his son, he's like, I don't care about you. I never cared about you or your mom. I knew that I was going to orphan you and I was going to widow her. And I was like, God damn, that is fucked up.
It's like one, it's fucked up.
It's like one that's fucked up, but I can also see him saying that because he does seem like a fucked up character. But on the other hand, it didn't feel like it was real to me. Now, I think on the surface level, like people like who really don't really dig into these movies could be like, yeah, maybe that's real, and like he flies off into space and he dies. But There was one moment, I'm trying to remember the exact words. So he basically says, Brad Pitt to Tommy Lee Jones, something along the lines of, I'm paraphrasing, but your whole life you've been searching for these aliens, if you will, and you didn't find them. All your life, what you had in front of you is what you needed, and now you don't have it. Yeah, it was so fucking deep,
It was
dude.
that quote, and then the one at the end when his father's fading away, and he said, "Sons are always the sins of their father."
Yeah,
that was a great line.
That was deep too, man. This, I'm telling you, this movie has so many layers. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful movie. Yeah. So let's should we get to the rankings? Do you have anything else? Or
so if you guys remember, I think the last movie
time
we broke down a movie
yeah.
in the parking lot. Security came. That was Endgame.
Maybe, I don't know.
Might have been Endgame. No,
might have been Endgame.
Was it Infinity War?
I don't know. It was
one of the Avengers movies.
It was one of the Avengers movies, and we had to move.
Like kicked us out. Security just drove by. I think
yeah, so they drove by.
We're
I think we're good. They might be turning around, so we're marked. Nah, I think we're good. Okay. So anything else before we have rankings?
Two questions.
I have one for you too.
Okay.
Kind of off kilter. But
Brad Pitt getting a Best Actor nom for this?
I think so.
Okay.
Honestly,
is this getting nommed for Best Picture?
It's one of the best movies I've seen in 2019. I would say. I mean, I think there's always going to be the kind of artsy fartsy movies we haven't like seen yet
Space
that are
usually
gonna
does pretty well. I go back to like Gravity,
Interstellar.
Got
I don't know. Did it get nommed? I don't know. Either way, I love Interstellar, and this has Interstellar vibes.
This actually reminds me a lot of Gravity.
I haven't seen Gravity.
Gravity. Sandra Bullock plays a very similar character
Yeah.
to Brad Pitt.
Okay.
So a lot of Gravity vibes.
Which one do you like better?
I'm a Brad Pitt guy, so
you like this
I
better.
This
Okay.
a little better.
Here's a little off kilter. Like, we don't have to get too into it, but I just want to say it because it would be fun. Do you believe that there is something else out there? Are you Tommy Lee Jones or are you Brad Pitt? Do you think there's aliens out there?
The military admitted the UFO videos were real
that shit's wild.
a couple days ago. Also, I got a news alert during the movie. A couple thousand people did go to Area 51. Today was supposed to be the day.
Okay.
They just
perfect
partied.
fucking time for this movie.
I don't know.
You're gonna leave it on. You're gonna leave it on the fence.
Skeptical,
bro. There has to be something out there. I don't care if it's in this galaxy or another galaxy. Something has to be out there.
Find me, dog.
That's my thought. But okay, so let's get to our rankings, man. This was wild. I know I always rank first, but I have a lot of thoughts on this movie. So in the middle, I was like, this is at least an 8, like at least a mid 8. But then it just like the layers and everything. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to give it. I'm gonna go 8.7. This, like, it has some flaws. I guess the one flaw I'd really say is you could argue that this is a far-fetched movie. Like for me, I would say
in the future.
It's in the future. Like the one like real far-fetched that I could see, like I liked it and I was okay with it, but the one far-fetched thing in the end, I was like, damn, he's really gonna make it off an explosion with no fucking food or anything and make it to Earth. Like, I don't know. I could see the argument of this shit is far-fetched, and it is, but I think there's a level of groundedness to it to where it makes you believe that this shit could be they did a good job in the writing and the research of. I think this movie could predict the future, if you will, not literally, but I don't know. This shit could happen. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. He's just doing this for the shit. You know what I'm saying. But yeah, so 8.7. This movie's good.
Mine's an 8.4, solid 8.4. My two beefs.
I have one beef, and I feel like we're gonna
maybe.
Yeah, agree.
Number one is Donald Sutherland should have had a bigger role.
Okay.
I think they killed him off too early. He should have at least made it to the message to send to his dad, and then from there helped Brad Pitt get onto the space shuttle to go.
Okay. Yeah.
They should have done that.
Sure.
Number two, probably my biggest beef, and again, these are small. The dialogue. I actually thought the dialogue between all of the other characters wasn't the best. The dialogue from just Brad Pitt's thoughts was beautiful.
I love the voiceover.
I did too. But just like the actual dialogue among the characters in the movie,
That's fair.
There wasn't anything memorable from it. Even when it was Tommy Lee Jones and Brad Pitt, Tommy Lee Jones would talk and Brad Pitt like wouldn't really say anything. And I know that might be a play because he's not real, and so it's all just in his head.
Yeah.
And
that's just what we think.
Right,
like,
right.
You know,
open for interpretation.
I think we're right, but you know.
So I just wish the dialogue was a little bit cleaner.
I have one other beef, and it's kind of funny. The space monkey. That shit.
Yeah,
that shit was a little weird. A little weird.
They took a weird route there.
But
oh, well.
It's the future. Who fucking knows? So, all right, 8.7, 8.4. This was a good fucking movie.
Great movie.
You know, it's our initial thoughts. It could grow and grow and, you know, maybe touch the 9s at the end of the year. So, I don't know. Ad Astra, Brad Pitt, we'll see in the Oscar buzz, the Oscar conversation. We'll see if it comes to fruition. I'm Trey, Alessio, the Dawn of Entertainment, Brandon Ogden, Consigliere. This is Unfiltered Cinematics. You know the drill. Like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. Let's get this bread. And I'm not going to say it this time. Brandon's going to say it. Tell him.
Stay safe.
Peace.